Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. How are you today? Or tonight? It's this evening here for me. We had a pretty hot day today here, but now we have a little cool breeze. So welcome, everyone. I'm pretty excited for today's live. I'm a little bit nervous too. I'm always nervous before lives because I have never studied formally English. I just picked it up from movies and songs and so on. And so I always worry that I will say something silly or that I will stumble upon a word. So if that happens, please forgive me. But other than that, I am pretty excited for today. I want to tell you a little bit about how I use AI in my creative practice. And I have prepared a little presentation. So if we can just put it on screen. Yeah, so the theme for today's live is prompt like an artist. Use AI to spark creative ideas. My name is Elina. I'm a watercolor artist and teacher. I've been painting since 2018. And I've been teaching watercolor painting on Skillshare for the last 5 years or so. You may know me from YouTube or maybe from Instagram, where I'm most active. And this is the kind of art that I create. These are some of my paintings from the last couple of years. This is what inspires me. These are the colors that I like to use. And for the past couple of years, I've also been very inspired by using AI in my creative practice. And this is what we are going to do today. I will tell you a little bit more about how and why I use ChatGPT when I feel stuck or uninspired, and how you can do it as well. I will explain how to write effective prompts so that you can get results that are tailored for you, that match your ideas and your style, and not just some generic answers. Then I will do a live demonstration to show you everything that we'll talk about. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session where I will answer all your questions. And don't worry, this is for all levels. You don't need any experience with AI, even if you've never used anything like this. Don't worry, it won't be overly technical or complicated. And maybe you are even wondering what is even ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a text-based AI model. So you can literally chat with it. It responds to prompts. You can give it instructions. You can give it questions. You can ask for feedback and really so much more. Think of it as your creative thinking partner or maybe a super organized studio assistant. How I use it in my practice, it helps me brainstorm when I feel stuck or uninspired, because artists are not always overflowing with ideas. Sometimes we feel uninspired. Sometimes we run out of ideas. And then it can really come in handy when someone else can just take you a little bit out of your comfort zone and give you some fresh perspectives. It inspires moods and compositions, so it doesn't only list you things that you can paint, but you can also explore deeper topics like feelings, moods. It can give you composition, color palettes, and so much more. It keeps me focused on painting and on my process, because if I open Pinterest or I start Google search, then I quickly get distracted. And, with limited time and so many distractions in today's world, this is really precious, I think. And in the end, still feels like me, because once I train it to know my style, to know me better, to know what I like to paint and what I want to create, in the end, the result still feels personal. And of course, because it is such a powerful tool, there are some concerns in the public space around the use of it. And especially for artists, what I hear about the most is along the lines of, isn't it lazy, or isn't it cheating? Or maybe it is not creative when you use it, or it will take out the creativity out of the process. To which my take is, I don't think it's lazy or cheating. I think it's just a tool. Like watercolor artists use masking fluid, or maybe you use a light box or a compass to draw perfect circles. So it's just a tool, and it all depends on how you use it. Writers use thesaurus, photographers use filters. It's important how you use it, and it's just a small part of the process, not the entire process itself. And it won't replace your creativity, because in the end, you are the one that takes the decisions. You are the one who creates. And it's not that you are not creative when you use it, because creativity actually means exploring different ideas, combining them in a new way. So I don't see why not explore some new source of ideas. And of course, there's the question about the environmental impact. And this is a valid concern. It does have a footprint, so we need to be mindful of how we use it. Same as the water that we use when we paint with watercolors, or the paper. It's a resource like anything else. So yeah, we should use it purposefully and in a focused way. So let's get quickly on how to set up an account if you don't have one already. It is pretty simple. So you just go to openai.com or chatgpt.com, and then you will see the screen. You can tap on the white button that says try ChatGPT, and then I think you will be able to start typing in it directly. But I suggest to create an account, because then you will have the option to customize it. I will tell you how you can do this later. So you can sign up for free with the button in upper right corner. And yes, it is free, and there is also a paid version. But the free one is totally okay for me at this point. So once you tap on the sign up for free, you will see, you will be prompted to create an account, just like you would on any other website or platform. You just need to enter your email address and think of a password, and then you will be all set. And what is prompting? We already mentioned the word. A prompt is just what you type into ChatGPT to start the conversation. So you can think of it like giving instructions to your studio assistant, or it could look like briefing a collaborator that you work with on a specific project, or maybe it could look like asking a specific question in an art forum, or asking for an advice from your creative coach. And it is really important that the quality of the answer depends on the quality of the question. So it is very important to be clear, to be detailed, and you can think of prompting as part of your creative process. The more intention you put into it, the more you will get out of it. So yes, there are good and bad prompts. So if I just go and type into it, give me ideas for a painting, this is a bit too vague and it will give me random results. So here I screenshotted the answers it gave me when I tapped into it, give me ideas for a painting. So it gave me 5 ideas: a landscape with mountains and a lake, a portrait of a woman with flowers, a city skyline at night, a forest in autumn, and an abstract painting with bold colors. And it usually tries to give you a variety of things. So you see, we have a landscape, we have a portrait, we have cityscape, forest, and an abstract painting. But out of these 5, I can only paint 3. I mean, it matches my style. I'm not painting portraits right now or abstract painting. So out of 5, 2 ideas I will dismiss immediately. So you can get more uh, precise, I think, answers like that are tailored for you if you're just being a little bit more specific in your questions or your prompts. So an example of a good prompt you see here on the right. So give me 5 ideas. So we already are telling it how many suggestions we want, because if we do not tell it how many ideas we want, it can give us 10, which could be a little bit overwhelming. I think 5 is a good number. 3 is maybe too little. So 5, I think, is a great number to ask for. Give me 5 ideas for a watercolor painting. So we also gave it the medium that we're going to use. Inspired by rainy city streets, we gave it the topic. At night, so we gave it the time of day. With moody colors, we suggested also the color palette that we want to use. And reflections, so by asking this more detailed question, we are getting more targeted and helpful results. So for example, here we have the first suggestion: a lone figure under a red umbrella walking through a narrow rain-soaked alley, reflections of neon signs shimmering in puddles. And this is, I think, much more inspiring than a city skyline at night, for example, because when it is written this way, you can already you can already start imagine it in your head, and maybe see the colors, maybe imagine the composition. At least for me, it is like that. And I already feel inspired to try this prompt. A parked bicycle by a lamppost, its shadow stretched across the wet cobblestone street, soft ripples of light bouncing around. So yeah, these are much more rich results that can already start some kind of process around creating the painting that you want to create. Or maybe you don't know what exactly you want to create. Maybe you are not, you cannot be that specific yet, but still you can give it more than I want to paint something cozy. You can make this prompt better in the following way. Give me 5 watercolor painting ideas, if you know the medium that you're going to use, that feel cozy and comforting with soft lighting. So here we give it the kind of lighting that we imagine. Warm tones, again, we suggest the color palette, and intimate indoor scenes. And we already have the first prompt: a woman reading by a rain-speckled window, wrapped in a soft blanket with a sleeping cat nearby. So cozy. I mean, I just want to paint it right away. And the rest of the prompts are really, really great and inspiring, at least for me. And after it gives you some prompts, you can always follow up. You can refine it. For example, you can say, make it more poetic, make it more dramatic, or maybe you can ask for additional ideas, like, for example, give me color palette ideas to match the mood, or suggest the best composition for this type of painting, or add a small animal to the scene, or a person, or really whatever you feel like creating. The possibilities are truly endless here. So you can get even better results if you start teaching ChatGPT to get to know you. So how you do that? You give it context. So you can describe your style, your preferences, like what you want to paint, what you like to paint. Usually, do you paint landscape, florals? Do you like more bold paintings, dramatic paintings? What kind of mood do you like to recreate in your works? What do you need a painting for? Is it for a contest? Maybe it's for a book illustration. Is it for a challenge? What it is for? So by giving it context, it can reply better. So for example, you can say something like, I paint emotional soft watercolor scenes inspired by nature, quiet moments, or I paint bold abstract works with acrylics and I use a lot of pink and gold, for example. And the more specific you are, the better. So you can not only just tell it what you like, but only what you don't like. So, for example, you can say no bright colors, or no people in the scene, no animals, or whatever it is that you want to avoid. You can always refine the answers by telling it when it's off. So, for example, that's too dramatic for me, or this is too complex, make it more simplified. And you can also, this is really cool, you can also use the act as instructions. So, for example, act as a fellow artist, or act as an art mentor, or whatever, and critique this concept, or what do you think about this painting. So this is really cool. You can have actual conversations with it. Um, and there is another way to teach it more about you. So if you create a profile, this is why I suggested that you create a profile at first. You can tap at your name at the bottom left corner, and then you will see this menu pop up, and you can tap here on customize ChatGPT, and then it will open this window on the right. Or you can tap on settings and then personalization, custom interactions, and then again it will open the exact same window. So here you can see a few fields that you can type into and give it more information about yourself. So for example, you can tell it what do you do, or what traits should ChatGPT have, and they gave some suggestions here at the bottom, but you can really type in anything. This is how you want it to respond. So for example, I have typed in mind that I don't want sugar coating. I have typed the things I'm allergic to, so it doesn't suggest such ingredients in the recipes I ask it to give me, and so on. But really, the most important one is here below. Anything else ChatGPT should know about you, and here you can enter just whatever you like, what your style is, what do you like to paint. Maybe you can give some examples of the last paintings that you did. What kind of colors do you like to use? Do you like soft and dreamy works? Just basically anything. You can also tell it what you do not like. So it will remember this information, and you do not need to repeat it every time you give it a prompt. So this is kind of like semi-permanent. You can always come and change it, but it's like semi-permanent information that it's not changing. And then if you ask it for a prompt, you can just go ahead and tell it what kind of painting do you want to create. It's not necessary to repeat every time what kind of artist you are, what kind of medium do you use, or anything like that. And here are some prompt examples that you can use. And really, these are just a few of the many prompts you can give it to. So for example, give me 3 painting ideas based on the feeling of quiet nostalgia using nature as a theme. So this is when you kind of know the mood you're in a specific mood, you have a specific emotion that you want to recreate. Maybe you kind of know that you want to paint nature or landscape or something like that. So you suggest it, and then it will give you some pretty cool results. Or maybe what would a painting inspired by Fort Wing look like, or your favorite movie, your favorite Netflix series. So this is when you feel inspired by something, but are not quite sure what to paint from this inspiration. Suggest a list of 5 paintings inspired by the most popular movies of the past decade. So here, first it will do a research. What are the most popular movies from the past decade? And then it will give you some pretty nice suggestions on what you can paint. You can also get a little bit more playful with it. So for example, suggest 10 magical objects with background ideas and color palettes. I'll use this as a painting challenge game. So here it will not only give you the objects, but it will also give you background suggestions and the color palette. So this is really helpful when you really don't know what to paint, you feel uninspired, and you just want to sit and paint. You don't want to think what kind of palette would look good with this, what kind of background should I do. So this is kind of like this painting challenge that we do on Instagram sometimes. You just paint whatever it is that day. So this is really good for whenever you are in an art block. And also you can use it as a research partner. So for example, I want to paint a series of birds. What are the 5 most colorful winter birds? Or I'm planning a calendar with animals. What are the most relevant animals for each month of the year? So here it will do a research and it will give you back the results in 2 seconds instead of you spending time researching this. If you don't feel like it, if you just want to paint, this is a great way to save some time. And here are also some templates that you can use. If you want, you can screenshot this slide. Or if you want, you can DM me as well, and I will send it to you. And again, these are just a few of the templates you can use. You can come up with your own. But here are some that I use quite often. So I really like this one. Give me painting prompts inspired by a type of light, for example, golden hour, moonlight, a season, for example, autumn, or a place. Maybe you have gone somewhere on vacation, you feel pretty inspired, but are not sure what exactly you can paint. So you can ask for inspiration. Or this one is really cool as well. Describe an imaginary scene that blends two themes like forest and dreams, and some really cool stuff can come out of it. So yeah, the tip is to combine the mood, the subject, and style. So basically, the idea is to give it whatever you are sure of. So if you know you want to paint a specific mood, or you already know probably the medium that you're going to use. So yeah, just give it whatever you already know for sure. And yeah, I think it can be quite fun to see the results. So this is basically how I use it in my practice. And let's try it together. So I will stop this presentation and I will open a ChatGPT account. So this is a new account that I created. I haven't used it so far, so it doesn't know anything about me. And I will just go here where I showed you earlier, the customization, and here I have put this text that I showed you. So I have typed in that I am a watercolor artist who creates dreamy paintings with soft planes, vibrant colors. My work is inspired by nature, by books, traveling. I like to paint peaceful, contemplative scenes with gentle light. I don't like to paint, so I gave it what I don't like to paint as well. Buzzy composition, too much elements, too much textures, portrait, abstract works, and so on. A little bit about my style, then a little bit of what I love painting. So I will now remove this text. So it really doesn't know anything about me besides my name. I will click save. And then I will ask it to give me ideas for painting. So give me 5 painting ideas. Here are 5 paintings ideas that you might enjoy, Elina. Whispers of the Forest, a surreal forest scene where the trees have faint ghostly faces in their bark as if they're softly whispering secrets. Mist and dappled sunlight can create an ethereal glow. Okay. City reflections, a rainy city street at night with glowing neon lights reflecting off puddles. Focus on bold colors against dark glossy surfaces. Dreamscape horizon, a vast open sky transitioning from sunrise to starry night in a single gradient with floating islands of whimsical airships drifting between realms. This is really cool, but totally not my style. Portrait of emotion, a close-up portrait where the face is dissolving into abstract brushstrokes of color, each representing different emotions. Reds for passion, blues for calm, yellows for joy. This is such a cool idea. The silent library, an ancient, endless library where books float mid-air, illuminated by golden candlelight with a sense of magic and quiet wonder. Yeah, and it usually always ends up with a question: would you like me to sketch a visual concept for one of these? Sometimes the question is useful, sometimes it is not. I think if now I ask it to sketch something, it won't do a very good job. And you don't need to reply to these questions. So overall, these suggestions are pretty, yes, it gave us variety again because it doesn't know us at all. So it tries to hit the spot by giving different suggestions. But honestly, maybe out of these, I can paint, and I would like to paint maybe only the city reflections. The other ones are a bit too weird for me. So what will happen now if we go again here and I paste back my information and I start a new chat just to be sure. And I ask it the very same question: give me 5 painting ideas. Here are 5 painting ideas that align with your ethereal, semi-realistic style. So it already shows us that it knows my style and your love for peaceful, nature-inspired scenes. Yes, a weathered stone staircase with wildflowers, an old narrow stone staircase winding up a hillside with delicate wildflowers spilling over the edges of morning light, gentle shadows, and highlighting the texture of the worn stones. Okay, sunlit orchard path in late summer, a quiet path through an orchard of peach or apricot trees with dapple sunlight falling through the leaves. Old wooden shutters with I never know how to pronounce these guys, so I just won't bother. A Mediterranean style, because it knows that I like Mediterranean style painting, so that's why it suggested. Whitewashed wall with faded steel wooden shutters half open with vivid, you know, this thing again, spilling over from above, single terracotta pot with herbs sitting on the windowsill. Yeah, this one is quite nice. Quiet lakeside at dusk, a serene lake reflecting the pastel colors of dusky sky. This is already, yeah, very inspiring to me. Soft lavenders, pinks, and muted blues in the foreground. A few slender reeds sway away, small weather flower pot, okay, and an old bookshop corner with golden light, cozy intimate corner of a small old bookshop. And it asks, would you like me to sketch? Again, it asks to sketch. I don't know why it asks to sketch when it doesn't do a very good job, but sometimes it asks if we want the color palette to match this, or if we want something more fitting our style. So sometimes the questions are quite useful, to be honest. So yeah, I can now say that I like suggestion 4. Give me more like that. You seem drawn to those tranquil naturist sceneries, and it suggests a narrow wooden jetty at sunrise, deserted beach with driftwood and pale sky, marshland pathway with reed silhouettes, quiet river. So yeah, these are all in the theme of tranquility and soft pastel colors. So now I can throw it back, like maybe suggest something that it doesn't have a body of water or something like that. So you can constantly refine until you've found your thing. But let's try something different now. So for example, what I do often when I am planning a painting series is I give it the general idea. So for example, I want to paint a series of paintings, cities of Europe. Let's narrow it down. Of Europe in autumn. Give me 5 suggestions. I want to paint. Let's see. Cityscapes of Europe in autumn series. Sounds like it was made for you. Yeah. Here are 5 cities: Paris, France, quiet courtyard with golden leaves; Florence, Italy, view from a hill with olive trees; Prague, Vltava River with mist and bridges; Edinburgh, very autumn themed; quiet close with fallen leaves; Lisbon, Portugal, Alfama Alley with potted plants. These are all super nice, to be honest. I would write them down, all of them. And then it asks, would you like me to help you sequence them into a cohesive series concepts with titles, mood transitions, maybe unifying element? Like, so this is really cool. This is where it gets cool because this is a really thoughtful question. Sometimes it suggests to name the series, but I really like this one to sequence them into a cohesive series concept with titles and mood transitions especially. And I like all of these, but let's say I pretty much like the idea of Paris. So I can type, I like the idea of Paris in autumn. Give me 5 iconic spots in Paris to include in this series, of paintings. Paris in autumn suits your aesthetic so beautifully. Place the fun. So now it gives us 5 iconic spots in Paris that we can paint, and it always comes with a really nice description: an atmospheric medieval courtyard with weathered stone walls, arched doorways, and a small serene garden touched by autumn hues. It feels like a pocket of stillness in the heart of the city. Climbing vines and soft shadows give it an intimate, timeless quality. I don't know, this is super inspiring. What else? Let's try these playful prompts that I showed you earlier. Suggest 5 magical objects with backgrounds and matching color palettes. Here are 5 magical objects that still fit your grounded editorial style, because I told it that I don't like too many fantasy stuff. Nothing fantasy. Yeah, it says nothing fantasy or whimsical in a loud way. An antique glass oil lamp, okay, weathered key on a velvet ribbon resting on an old marble tabletop with cracks and faded engravings scattered around, autumn leaves in soft ochres, and a cloth leather-bound journal. And here it gives the color palette: burnished bronze, deep burgundy velvet, antique ivory, warm ochre, and shadow slate gray. A small handcrafted ceramic teapot, this is super nice, an old compass with patina, and a stack of vintage letters tied with twine. So these are all, again, super nice. And it's really cool that it gives you the background and gives you the color palette because we asked it to, but now we can just go ahead and paint. And it also, they recently introduced the option to generate an image here inside ChatGPT, and I will tell it to generate one of the images, and then I will explain more. Generate a photo reference based on suggestion 4, sitting on a map spread over a wooden desk with a few curled edges, a dried sprig of lavender or eucalyptus rests nearby. The light is soft and indirect like cloudy morning. So generate photo reference based on suggestion 4, and I always take it to make it like a realistic photo, because otherwise it may gives us a painting in a certain style, and we don't want to be influenced by that. So now it will try to generate a painting, an image. I'm not sure if it will do a good job. So it's very slow at this moment. They introduced it recently, and with the free account, you only have a few tries for a day, so you can only generate a few images for a day, and it's kind of you don't have much control over the final result. So that's why I prefer to use Midjourney. So usually my process is I generate ideas in ChatGPT, I generate some prompts, and then I copy them into Midjourney, and then I use Midjourney to create my references. And I have a class on that on Skillshare, where I teach you the entire process. With the focus there is on Midjourney, because it has a lot of tools inside, a lot of options that you can work with. For example, when you ask it to generate an image, it always generates 4 different images, and then you choose one, and then you start from there, and you can tweak it and so on. It actually generated a pretty nice image, I think. What do you think? I really like it. And then we can try and maybe we can try to refine it a bit, make it in a landscape format. But yeah, it's a little bit out of control. So for example, if we try to refine too much, then we are either out of free generations for the day, or sometimes it starts to generate some crazy things. And by the way, if you use it for prompts, and if you kind of refining too much, so just constantly repeating the same thing, maybe sometimes it doesn't get what we want to say, and sometimes it can start to repeat some things and to be a little off. Then it is better to just start a new chat. Yeah, sometimes this happens. So let's see what it will generate here. And other than that, this is pretty much it. If you have some questions, please type them in the chat, and then I will, yeah, this is better, I think, for painting. And by the way, feel free to paint using this reference, or any of the prompts that I showed you today. So yeah, I hope this was useful. So now let's see if we have some questions to answer. Yes, it is called Midjourney. Yeah. You use it inside the Discord. So you have to download Discord too. And unfortunately, there is no free account there. So it is a paid version. But if you work a lot with references, it is worth it, because it really gives you a lot of control over the entire process. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Leah. Thank you for your comments on my English. So do we have any questions? Question: what impact has using AI had on your work? So yeah, I talked a little bit in the beginning. So it does have an impact. I can tell that my last art block was before I discovered Midjourney. So the pattern for my art blocks in the past usually was the same. So for example, I want to paint a lavender field, and then I go in the royalty-free photo stocks websites to look for an image that it matches the thing I'm somewhat imagining it. And I look for the photo, and I look for it for hours and then for days, and I don't find it. And then you kind of feel lost, because you want to create something, but you don't have, you lack a certain tool, for example, because I can kind of see it in my head, but I cannot imagine it in detail with the shadows and everything. I'm someone who needs photo reference. And for ideas, again, especially for painting series, ChatGPT has been very helpful, because I cannot always think of all the cities in Europe that will look great in autumn, or I cannot always make a list of all the colorful birds in Brazil that I want to paint. So yeah, I think it's very helpful, but also we need to be mindful of how we use it. And that's why the focus of today's live was to make it more personal, make it more like you have a little clone of yourself that is super effective and super fast and kind of understands what you want to create. Any other questions? Mm. So yeah, I would love to know, what do you think about this? If you plan on going to use some of the tips I gave you today. This has been super nice and super fun. If you happen to create something today, we'd really love to see. I have a question. Do you ever find that physics, science, or other grounding details are wrong in the results? And you have, yes, yes, definitely. It's not perfect. I think this is good. Otherwise, it might. Sometimes it's a little bit creepy. Let's be honest. Sometimes it's creepy how human it sounds, and the images it creates sometimes are really, yeah. Um, I think it will get better with time, much more. It has already become so much better since the beginning. Like it used to generate hands really off, like with many fingers or something like that. And yeah, you have to correct the output. And with my experience, when you correct it too many times, it kind of gets even more off track. Yeah, I'm so glad that it was useful. I am so happy to hear uh, that you got something out of it. So yeah, if you create something, please, would love to see what you create. You can post your finished piece on Instagram, tag me, tag Skillshare, use the hashtag Skillshare Live, and you can also add your artwork to the projects tab of the classes on Skillshare and get the feedback from me and from the community. And all the links and all the handles are down in the caption in case you missed something. Make sure to subscribe to Skillshare and to Skillshare's YouTube channel for more live sessions like this one. And this has been so much fun. I am so thankful for you for joining me today. And I hope to see you again soon, guys. Bye.